is in. The Blitz with Jason Minnix and Sports Insiders. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
And he'll do a good job. He's a young guy that we're proud of, and he really had a great rookie year last year, relatively speaking, and he'll do a good job out there. We'll give him lots of help.
Now, who that guy is that Jerry Jones is talking about is former Steel Knight, Travis Steele. He's going to get the start this week at tackle in place of Leal Collins. Steele beats out Ty Inseki for the job. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. And I think when you look at Terrence Steele getting the opportunity to start is something that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, everybody you talk to a man, his offseason this year has been incredible. The idea that Terrence Steele went into the weight room and changed his body. He realized the NFL ain't the Big 12. I think every Longhorn offensive lineman realized that the Big 12 ain't the SEC this weekend. He knew he had to get bigger and stronger, and he did. We heard about that the entire time we were in Oxnard. When I saw him, when he was on R&R in the morning with Rob and Rudy, you could see a difference. Everybody talked about Terrence Steele just changing his body as he's getting ready for the season. I am a little surprised as LC is suspended. While he's appealing it, he's suspended. He's going to be gone until after the bye. I think we all know that. But one of the things that you look at is, well, why not put Zack Martin over at tackle? I mean, the Cowboys are just insistent that Zack stay at guard. This was Steven yesterday on 105.3 The Fan, Stephen Jones.
We always discuss everything, every opportunity that are out there, your best look, and, certainly our coaches are doing that. We've certainly been pleased with how our tackles have played in the preseason. Obviously, Steele got a lot of work last year, and we signed Inseki to be the swing tackle. So, we feel good about our situation. Just like last week, Connor McGovern stepped in and did an outstanding job. We suspect whatever happens this week for the same thing to happen.
Yeah, and they don't want Zack at right tackle. They got Steele and they signed Ty. Jerry on 105.3 The Fan today talking about not putting Zack Martin at tackle.
Our offense, really, I hate to be trite about it, but it's just best served with him at right guard, and we've got a good alternative, and he will be very helpful to the fact that Steele will basically be out there in the game, and he'll be helpful to him. He will help out that situation. But but really, you're reluctant because when you make a move, you talk about position flex in the offensive line, but when you make a move, you're dealing with two people at different positions rather than just one new one in there at the same position he's been practicing. So it's a little more to it relative to what you're giving up when you switch a guy out of a position into another one. That's two position switches.
I don't disagree with what Jerry Jones is saying there. When you take a guy and put him in another position, then you got another guy that's going to fill his space at guard. I 100% agree with it, but it's not the entire story. I think the beginning of the answer is a part of the story that nobody's talking about.
Our offense, really, I hate to be trite about it, but it's just best served with him at right guard, and we've got a good alternative.
If he's best served with him at right guard, there's got to be a reason for that. So I heard that earlier today, and I heard Rob and Rudy on R&R in the morning talking about why wouldn't you put Zack out at right tackle? You want your tackles, left tackles that's the money offensive line position, right tackle. And we've seen Zack Martin play right tackle before. That has certainly happened. So I've asked that question. And why the Cowboys just don't even want to go down that road and even consider that as an option, I find very curious. Because you want your 5 best offensive linemen out there, and what's going to give you the best protection possible. And I know we understand the value of having tackles and what they're able to do as opposed to interior offensive linemen. So as I keep hearing this and this conversation, there's got to be more to it. There's got to be a why. And it's not 100% Jerry says, well, if we move him, that's really two guys moving. All right. They're better with him at the interior. You do a little digging. Tyler Biadasz is the 5th best offensive lineman. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you go and you look at all the grading websites, he was number 5, and he wasn't even close to number 4. Now, that Tampa Bay front is big. I don't know if you noticed, they got a guy that's 350 and very athletic and strong, who on one play pushed him all the way back into the quarterback. As smart as Tyler Biadasz is, he doesn't have the strength or the leverage. He doesn't. And he didn't grade out well. He only got a couple of games under his belt last year. And as bad as the offensive line was last year with the pieces and parts, while they didn't grade out well, hell, nobody did on that offensive line. I think they've got to keep Zack Martin at guard to protect Tyler at center. I mean, imagine if you go and kick Zack Martin out to right tackle, and you've got Tyron Smith at left tackle. What do you got going on in the middle right there? I think what the Cowboys are saying is we can't move Zack Martin because we can't trust Tyler to get the job done. Now, I thought the Connor that came in last week did a fine job, and the other Connor has done well. But that's why they're not going to put Connor, and Tyler in there if you can have a Zack, because Zack Martin is going to help out that center. And nobody's talking about that because they don't want to publicly embarrass Tyler Biadasz. They don't want to signify like, hey, we know we've got a weakness here at the center position. But that's got to be why they won't even seem to consider the idea of moving Zack Martin out to tackle, is because they don't trust what they have right now at the center position. I mean, when you look at Tyler, who did not grade well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and, you know, he got 4 starts last year before he got hurt. It just wasn't there. But he's not strong enough. He doesn't hold his ground leverage-wise. And he looked overmatched most of the night against Tampa Bay. The good news is most teams don't have a defensive front like Tampa Bay. They just don't. But you watch the tape, where are you going to attack? And teams attack the middle. Why? Because that's where the weakness is on the offensive line. If you take Zack Martin and kick him out, that middle is weaker. You leave Zack in there and he can help. He'll be able to help double team. He'll be able to get his guy and Tyler's guy. I mean, there's going to be certain calls, and they're going to see that. And, you know, Zack Martin is there. You know, you look at last week, not enough has been made, but a lot has been made about the lack of run game that you saw. Now, Kellen Moore did call 28 run plays in that game. Dak Prescott checked out of 12 of those into passing plays because of what he was seeing from the defense. Why run a negative play? I kind of think sometimes you got to run it just to say you're going to run it. But you don't want to be in 3rd and 9 or 2nd and 9, depending on your down and distance. But when you look at how PFF and some of those grade out everybody, and those are offensive line experts grading, not Minnix grading, because I can't do that. I can't evaluate an offensive lineman to save my life. I could draw better with my left hand than I could tell you if a offensive lineman is doing well, other than when you see him just get completely beat. But late in the game, that's when you saw the holding penalties, even on Tyron Smith, because they were getting tired and they were getting beat, but especially up the middle, and they were getting pushed back. And I think that has got to be the reason why Zack Martin is staying at right guard and why the Cowboys don't even want to consider moving him out to right tackle. It's because they got to protect their second-year center. 2 + 2 is 4.
That makes a whole lot of sense. I hadn't thought about it in those terms when you're talking about kicking your best player out to right tackle to try to allow him to help offset the loss of what is a very, very good right tackle in Lyle Collins. But it makes a lot of sense when you parse it like Tyler Biotish needs the help inside, and that was evident in Thursday's game.
And the reality is he was drafted out of Wisconsin, and he got hurt. We don't really know what we have. We knew he was a little undersized, but you go from there. What was it, McGovern that played some center last year?
Connor?
Yeah. There's too many damn Connors on that offensive line. And I thought Connor Williams played solid. There were no issues really with the offensive line against Tampa Bay. And when I say that, no issues relative to what we saw the offensive line deliver last year, which was a lot of issues against what is arguably the best front in the NFL. In their first test, the Cowboys held their own for the most part. That challenge was met. They couldn't run the ball, but they tried. I mean, I feel better knowing that Kellen Moore at least called run plays. And I trust Dak saying, well, this isn't going to work. I'm going to go into this. I do not want my quarterback throwing 58 times in regulation. But at least I know that Kellen called 28 run plays because it looked like they abandoned the run game early. And old Kellen Moore is, come on, dude. It's got to be there. But when you think about what you saw on the line with McGovern starting in place of Martin, I thought they played pretty well. They're going to be better with Martin back. Now they lose Collins, and they're going with Terrence Steele. What we saw of Terrence Steele, that first preseason game against Pittsburgh, was ugly. But you know what? Ty Nsekhe wasn't much better in that game. But as the preseason went along, because preseason game matters for some, you saw Terrence getting better, especially in the game in which Terrence was going against ones. And they paid Ty Nsekhe in free agency to come be the swing tackle. Terrence Steele won the opportunity to start this week against the Chargers. And I think that's huge for the Dallas Cowboys, for Terrence Steele. But overall, the front that the Buccaneers offer and what you saw from the offensive line play, Dak had a clean pocket. They didn't run the ball. They didn't try. Well, they called plays, but Dak checked out of them. And I don't even really have too much of an issue with that because you want positive plays. And it's hard to argue with an offense that put up the numbers that they did the other night. And you can't complain about the offensive line when you look at that. I mean, Dallas lost the game by 2 points. They scored 29 points. They struggled in the red zone, and they struggled in the kicking game. Better at red zone play, solid kicking. They probably score 40 points in that game and win. And that's what we need. They had 30 first downs. They had 450 yards. They won time of possession. I'm not mad at what I saw from the offensive line the other night. That offense against a great defense like Tampa Bay offers is there. That's a game you shouldn't lose. When you put up those kind of numbers and win the turnover battle and the other team has 100 yards, red zone, special teams. Those are big differences in the game. And, of course, late clock management. When Dak probably checked out of a run and threw an incomplete pass, you run that in that situation, and either Tampa Bay uses a timeout or you take a lot of time off the clock and you don't give Brady the opportunity. But the reason they won't even consider Zack Martin for tackle has got to be they don't trust Tyler Biotish on his own. 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Let's head to the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. Gary, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
How you guys doing, man? A long-time listener. Haven't talked to you in a while. But I got a question.
Appreciate you calling. Go ahead.
And with Bosa on that outside, I don't really think that Tampa Bay brought that to the table what we're going to see against Bosa. He's going to be bringing tons of pressure on the outside. The guys we've had playing tackle, thank God in Tyron Smith's here, but those guys, Steele and Knight, man, they gave me nightmares letting these guys rush through there and just killing our quarterbacks. and we're going to go back to the same scenario, putting those idiots out there. We're going to have to put a tight end or something out there to help out.
I would hope that they're going to have a blocking tight end there to help out Terrence Steele. But you know what Terrence Steele isn't going to bring to the game this week that he brought to every game last week? And that's his red bullfighting Olay cape that he would come out for Joey Bosa. See, he's going to leave that in the locker room and not bring that with them. And I want to see Terrence Steele get this opportunity because we've heard how he dedicated himself in the offseason to get bigger and stronger and better at his job after realizing as a undrafted rookie, mind you, that he ain't playing Big 12 defenses anymore. He dedicated the summer to changing his body. We're going to see against the Chargers on Sunday. You know,